Welcome back to another Ben's Garage live stream. I've not been on for about a month. 4 weeks ago was the last one we did. I don't know if a lot has happened since then. I can't remember what has happened, but anyway, I've got a list of things that we can talk about. But yeah, so I thought I was going to do one. I thought 2 weeks ago, but I thought no, let's leave it for the 4 weeks because I'll just run out of things to say. I've had hat on today. My hair's a mess. But yeah, so we've left it for 4 weeks this time. So I thought there'll be a bit more to talk about. So yes, lots of things have been happening. Hi, Robert. All is very well in Ben's Garage Land. Lovely sunny weather out there, but it does keep raining. We are fighting the weather a little bit at the moment. You wouldn't think it's nearly midsummer, would you? Anyway, that's a subject for another channel. But yeah, so quite a few things have happened in the last 4 weeks since the last live stream. Apparently the virus has gone because we're all allowed out now to mingle and mix, but I keep seeing that people saying that they can go out and they can do this and they can do that, but they can't go around to their grannies and have a cup of tea with them. There you go. I don't go out very often, but Tina goes out and does the shopping, and she went shopping the other day and she said it's like nothing's ever happened. I think they've still got the perspex up at the checkout, but most people are not bothering with masks and gloves anymore. I don't know. Anyway, won't go into that in too much detail. We'll try and keep it all upbeat and positive. Yeah, so what has been happening? Well, the Range Rover broke down the other day. The new Range Rover. Oh, bugger. No, we don't have a paddle shift on the Range Rover. I was looking at the videos, actually. Powerful UK did a video the other day where you can buy the paddles and fit a kit. I'm not sure if our car, it's 2010, so whether there's the software inside the car and the plug inside the steering wheel where we could just get the paddles and put on the steering wheel, or if we would have to get like that kit that is on the video on Powerful UK. I don't know if you've seen that video, but Powerful UK did a video the other day where they fitted the paddles on a 2005, I think it was. So, you know, those ones didn't have paddle shifts at all, but they managed to get it on and they managed to get it working. So, but I don't think I'm really that bothered about paddle shifts, to be honest. It's automatic. Let the car do what it wants to do. But yeah, so where did I get to? Yes, the new Range Rover broke down. Oh no! Tina went to go shopping in it the other day. It's happened once before. I don't know if I did a video on it, but we'd been driving about. I was taking Tina to the hospital she had an appointment before she had her eye surgery. So we drove all the way to the hospital, switched it off. I waited for her for a bit, and then we went from there right round the other side of Limoges to. We treated ourselves to Burger King. Was it? Yeah, it was Burger King. Anyway, we finished our burger and went to start the car up. Nothing. There was power, but there was not enough power to even make the start motor click. Luckily, we had the booster pack with us. Tina popped the booster pack on, and it fired up straight away. And it has not messed about since. And that was, beginning of March, it did it. And just this week, it's done it again. So, I got outside with my little gadget. My Gap IID tool. We check the battery terminals, make sure there's nothing loose on the battery. That was all hunky-dory. So I got in the car, plugged the Gap diagnostic tool in. You can do live readings and stuff, and you can do the same with the iCarsoft's diagnostic tool. But with this, I can just sit there with my iPad on a nice big screen. Anyway, somebody in the comments before, I think when I must have done a video because somebody actually commented on it that because it's the Ford engine, it's got a funny charging system that it takes a while to build up. So I let it run, and then I went for a long drive, about 20 minutes, half an hour. Came back. All the time it was driving, it was at 14 volts, which, as you know, 14 volts is putting out a charge, and it's enough to charge the battery. So I tried putting all the lights on, put it onto main beam, put all the aircon on, just to give it that bit of draw, to see if I could pull the charge rate down. And it sort of hovered around 13.8 to 14. So I thought, heated rear windscreen. That pulled it down to about 13.7. Put the heated front windscreen on. That pulled it down. But bearing in mind, this is idle. Sat outside. The car's just idling. I've got all the lights on, everything. I put the front heated screen on, and that pulled it down to 12.5 volts. But if you just touch the throttle, just pick the revs up to 1,000 RPM, it was back up to 13.8, 14. So it's charging. So I'm wondering if the battery's had it. We're putting a new battery on it anyway, because I've ordered a new battery. The battery that's on it, it's a Varta battery, but it's branded Land Rover. So I'm not sure if that might even be the original battery. I've got some paperwork somewhere with all the old invoices and stuff, but I've put it somewhere and I can't find it. So I can't see if it's had a battery in the last couple of years. But it's a Land Rover branded battery made by Varta. The battery on it is 800 amps or 800 cranking amps, and it's 80 amp. It's an 80 amp battery with 800 cranking amps. The one I've gone for, there was two that I was looking at. I use batterymegastore.fr because their batteries are dirt cheap, and they're branded batteries, so they're good batteries. The other firm is MrAuto.com, which is a French sort of car parts. Basically, on Mr. Auto, you put your registration number in, and your car comes up. So all the parts that fit your car come up in the thing. Now, on the Battery Megastore, there is a thing for putting your registration in, but it says you put your number in, and it doesn't work. So I went on to Mr. Auto, put the registration number in, and then a selection of batteries come up. And there's quite a few with various powers, amperages and cold cranking amps and all that sort of thing. So I found the biggest one on was a Fullman battery, and it's 392 long by about 190 by 170, let's say. That was 850 cranking amps and 110. It was a 110 amp battery with 850 cranking amps. So of course I go onto Battery Megastore and put in 110 cranking amps and a battery that was the same size. It's 1mm bigger, so I'm hoping that it's going to fit. It's 950 cranking amps, this battery that's coming, and it was only €120, and it's a Varta. Which, is the same as we've got on the car. Dwayne's in the house. UASA. That's bike battery. I don't know if they do car batteries, but Battery Megastore don't do them, I don't think. Anyway, we've ordered a Varta battery. Now, I'll do a video on it when we change the battery, because it'll be quite entertaining, because the battery weighs 25.5 kilos. So, yes, that'll be it. We're going to have to get the bonnet in the full upright position, disconnect the old battery, and let everything drain down. Because I know on the old TD6 it's got firework explosive thing under there, and you've got to let that drain down, mess about. I don't know if the TD V8's got that actually, because I've not seen the thing on the back of it. It might be in there somewhere, but anyway, we'll disconnect the battery, let all the power die down, and swap the battery out, and then I'll stick the old back in again, and we'll see what sort of output it's putting out. Because I don't really want to be changing the alternator, because it looks to be a bit of a pig of a job. It's not a pig of a job, but you've got to take a lot off to get to the alternator. I don't fancy doing that, not just yet anyway. So, with the Range Rover not starting, Tina got it started. We've got the booster pack out there. She put it on, it fired up straight away. She drove up to town, went shopping, came back out, and it did it again. But it's only 5 minutes up the road. If it's got a bit of a dodgy battery, it's not going to put enough charge into it just going 5 minutes up the road, especially if it's got this silly thing on where it doesn't put out the full charge straight away. But so with that, Tina said we'll have to get the Panda up and running. So we might be servicing the Panda in the next week or so, so she can start driving that. Did we ever get to the bottom of the lights on the TD6? Well, we thought we had. We disconnected the battery, let everything shut down, 10, 20 minutes, reconnected the battery, and the lights were working perfectly. This is when we were still driving it about before it went kaput. And then what happened? We was coming back, and I noticed the lights started flashing again on their own. Oh, bloody hell. So I think it's the light module thing that's in the driver's door side there. On the TDV8, there was a lot of fault codes come up, but none really to do with the battery or the charging. It was just codes that would have come up because the battery had drained or been disconnected or something. Things like it said driver's door central locking actuator and passenger door passenger door central locking actuator. All the doors lock and unlock fine. There's nothing wrong with them. It said something about the amplifier. There was a lot of codes on there. I should have done a screen recording really, but I probably, when we do the battery, I'll film it and I'll do a screen recording on the iPad when I'm connected to the diagnostic gadget there, and see what actual codes are in there. At the moment, I've cleared them all, and no codes came back. Tina's got to go out in it tomorrow, so we'll see if it starts up in the morning. Yeah, so that's that. We've not got any further with the TD6. That's still sitting there. I'm going to, as I've said in the video, we're doing the TD6. Yeah, well, I think I can get an alternator for about £200. But the trouble is fitting it. It's a bit of a pain in the backside, but if I have to do it, I have to do it. It's one of them things, isn't it? So, yeah, so the TD6, that's sort of on the back burner for a moment. I'm going to strip all the front end off, take the radiator out, take the intercooler out. I can get to all the intercooler hoses, change all of those. I will probably change all the coolant hoses as well. Give the engine a bit of a service while we're there. And while we're on the front end of it, I will probably see... Frog in my throat. I'll probably see if there's any way of fitting a snorkel on it. They don't do a snorkel for the L322. Yeah. But I have seen one chap actually made one fit. It was designed for another, I think it might have been a Discovery 4 or Discovery 3 or something like that. Managed to get it to fit on there. So while all that front end's off, we'll have a look and see what's going on with that. Let me just wet the whistle. I don't think the alternators are water cooled. Could be wrong, but I don't think they are. They don't look it when you go to search for them. to buy one. But yeah, so that's the TD6 is parked over there. We've got so far, I can't get that intercooler hose underneath the thing. And I don't really want to take all the top of the engine off to get to it, to be honest. So we've got other jobs that we need to get done. We need to get the Audi done and get that sold. We need to get Tina's Panda serviced, cam belt and water pump. It doesn't need them, but we don't know the history. So I said, well, we'll just stick a cam belt on. While we've got it apart, we'll do the water pump, give it a full service, and then have a look on the suspension and see what's going on with that. Because it is as rough as arseholes, the ride in that thing. She loves it, but there you go. So that's our mechanicking marvels pretty much all lined up. The motor inside of it anyway. We've got more mechanicking to do on the other side, the mowers. We've got one mower working. We got out of 5, we've got one mower working. The hater. The engine ran fine. The last video I just released was fitting a new blade clutch on the hater. We did all that. Now, it was working fine. When Tina comes in and she got onto the long grass, it did stall a little bit. You could hear it, and then it stopped, and then she sort of pulled it back out of the grass. Now, I don't know if I've got it tight enough or if it is just slipping. But I did notice there was a bit of oil underneath. So whether there's a bit of oil leaked, gone through and just got onto the clutch lining, I don't know. On the other grass, it was going fine. So it might just be that it was really long grass and it's not really designed for it. Yeah. The flower mower, we're still waiting for a bolt. The engine's bolted on it, just loosely, because I need to, once I've got the belts on, I need to line the engine up so that the belts run true. But I'm still waiting for a bolt. The old engine has got a different thread on the crankshaft, and when you put the centrifugal clutch goes on the shaft, lovely, it fits fine. But the threads in the crankshaft are totally different, so we've had to order a new bolt, and hopefully that'll turn up this week, because the field really needs cutting. So we'll have to hopefully get that fixed this week, and I can get it welded up. I've just got to weld a bar across the back and just weld up some of the drawbar, and then we can set it up for being towed with the tractor rather than the Range Rover. It's all very well towing it with the Range Rover, but the tractor is a bit more manoeuvrable, especially like the patch at the other side of the house here. We call it the wild patch. There's a lot of trees to get round and bits and pieces, and it's a bit tight for the old Range Rover. Out in the field, it's fine, but the Range Rover with the tow bar is not working, so we'll use the tractor. And then when we've got all the flower mower up and running, then I shall strip down the finishing mower that's on the back of the tractor now. Get the bearings all changed, and yeah. I think some alternators are water cooled. It is on a 4.4. It might be, I don't know. It didn't look like it was water cooled on the 3.6, but oh, hang on. Yeah, let's set the timer. Let's see if we can keep to it this time. There we go. There's an hour on the clock. Yeah. So we'll try and keep it to an hour from now. So I've been on for 20 minutes already, so that would be an hour and 20 minutes if we can shut it off at 59 minutes and 40 seconds. So I better get cracking on with my waffle, haven't I? I've got a list of things here to talk about. But we've already talked about 2 of the things on the list. There you go. Other jobs we've been doing. Tina has been down in the dungeon, getting herself down in the cellar. What we've done we've got the cellar in the other room. Basically, it's a dirt floor at the moment. We want to use it for storing preserved foods and all that kind of thing. The crack is still there. Yeah, we've not slipped anywhere. The house is still standing. Yeah, so the plan is to get a load of racking down in the cellar. And so Tina's been down, she sprayed all the beams with xylophane, which is like a wood treatment. That's all been done and it's all dried off. And then she's fixed up some, like, what is that stuff? It's a thermal moisture barrier, which is just stapled up between the beams. It's just to stop, because the cellar's got a vent to the outside. Now, previous people and us, the last winter, have actually blocked that vent up because the wind comes in the vent and it comes up through the floor. So we have noticed that when we've blocked that vent up, it gets damp down in the cellar because there's no air circulating. So the plan is to be able to leave the vent open. Oh, Holly's here. What's all this shit about, eh? What shit? I'm just talking nonsense. Anyway, back to the cellar. Yeah, we want to leave the vent open all year round and the winter. So Tina's put this thermal moisture barrier thing, stapled it up between the beams to hopefully stop any sort of cold air coming up in through the thing. She's been up in the loft. She's done all the insulation up in the loft. How thick was that? 200 mil? Yeah. We've got 200 mil insulation in the loft. She's done the thermal barrier stuff down in the floor. She's obviously sprayed it all first. She sprayed all the loft as well, so all the wood's treated. The racking is coming. We've ordered the racking. And we've got some nice LED strip lights to go down there as well. So we're going to get them put up and then ask Dad when he's here if he can just wire it in. Because I've not been down in the cellar, so I don't really know. I think there's power down there. There's power because if we got the light switch for the wall lights in the kitchen, that power all comes from the down in the dungeon. So hopefully we can just tap into that because there is a switch just on the stairs as you go down. And then we'll have some illumination down there because every time Tina goes down there, she has to take a torch and hang the torch on a nail. But yes, we did have a light down there. But when Dad was rewiring, we got everything and he's like, yeah, that's it. And he was testing everything. And I was like, hang on a minute. We've just disconnected the power to the barn. And the power in the barn does the power to the boiler. So we had to have a bit of a jig about, and Dad's did something, and we've got power in the barn now. But one thing that did get overlooked was the lights in the cellar. But we can put the lights up, we can wire the lights together, and then just, I don't know. Electrics are not my thing. They really aren't, because I've tried doing electrics before, and I've even switched the main power off. I've tried switching the power off on the board for the lights. I got zapped, so I switched the main power off, so there shouldn't have been any power coming into the house at all. Got up on the ladder, and it's like, oh, Jesus Christ. So, yeah, me and electrics on cars, it's not so bad. But I don't know about, especially French electrics, because it's nothing like the UK. You haven't got a ring main or anything like that. You can have so many, like with your power sockets, you can have so many on the circuit, and that has to go directly back to the board. You don't have a ring main or anything like that, and it's silly. Dad knows all about that kind of stuff, so if we get the lights put up when he comes next, I'll just see if he knows what, because he did all the wiring. So anyway, that's the cellar. So Tina's been busy. We was going to get stuck in on the ramp outside because we've got the wood down outside, and we've got all the new decking planks out there. I've got to put a timer on, Ollie, because that bloody McNess, he comes on here and he keeps you talking all night long, and I'm still sat here at nearly midnight. So I tell him we put a timer on, and it don't work though, because the timer expires and we're still talking. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, the ramp outside. We've got all the decking wood outside. We was going to do it, and I sat out there and I was thinking about it. I thought, and we were fighting the weather again because if it's not raining, well, it's been blowing a gale most of the week, but and now it's beautiful sunshine. You can't win, but the vegetables are enjoying it, and Tina doesn't have to keep watering all the garden. Talking of the garden, we've had a disaster. A bloody disaster. We got bloody blight on our potatoes. Not just a few of the potatoes, but most of the potatoes. So we've had to cut them all down to the ground. I did some research. It said if you've got blight on 25% or less on the leaves and the plant, just cut out the affected part. If it's 25% or more, you got to cut them down to the floor and get rid of it. So we had 25% or more. So we had to cut them down to the floor. The potatoes are still in the ground because they're still good. So we're going to probably at the end of next week dig them up, and we've got to decide how we're going to store them, because there's going to be we dug up about, was it 3 rows, Tina? We dug up 4 rows that were over in the bed over there that had got blight. That they were really peculiar flavour. They wasn't nasty or anything, but there was a variety that I've never had before, and they were sort of like really powdery. I can't describe it really. It sort of reminded me a bit like chestnuts. If you eat chestnut, they got like a flowery sort of taste. Did they flower?
No, the ones in the bins started to.
Yeah, but the ones in the ground didn't, did they?
No.
The potatoes we had growing in the bins, they started to flower, but the ones out in the garden, they didn't flower at all. Oh, nice one, Ollie. You get buying a new one now. This ends up just being a bloody chat room on here. But yeah, so we're going to probably at the end of this week dig those potatoes up and decide how we're going to store them, freeze some, dry some out, because we've left them in the ground just so they mature a little bit. They obviously won't grow anymore because we've cut the tops off. They'll just, the skins will toughen up, so we can dig them up, just lay them out on the ground, let them dry out in the sun for a few hours. Yeah, start up your own bloody chat room. Yeah, anyway, so that was our gardening disaster. I think everything else, but well, apart from some seeds not germinating or doing anything. Somebody did ask about the pig. Let me see if I can show you the pig. It's still there. You keep it up, Ollie. I'll have to ban you. You can get all your bits and pieces over at bensgarage.org. Oh dear. Anyway, so yeah, I've been eating some stuff out of the garden today. Spring onion, pulled a spring onion up. bensgarage.org. And we got some rocket. I don't know why we even bother with rocket, because I'm not that struck on it, and it's just sort of bolted and it's all going to flower. So I think we'll probably pull the rocket up. But the lettuce that we've got next to the rocket, which I can't remember, what it was just one that Tina found in the supermarket. Hello, Mr. Sykes Gaming. We are all very well, thank you. Hopefully you are too. What was I going to... I keep getting distracted and I've got shit for brains again tonight. Oh, lettuce. Yeah, Tina went up and just got the lettuce from the supermarket, so we don't know what variety it is. But I picked one of the leaves off and that was quite nice, so I'll start having some of that with my lunch. Now I'm on my regime, on my diet. Well, I had a cuppa before I started. I don't think we'll get another one for about half an hour. No biscuits because obviously the diet. The diet does seem to be working. So since we started the diet, what were we today? 52 and a half. Yeah. And it was 58 to start with, wasn't it? Yeah. Now, as I've said in one of the videos, I can't get on the scales. Being in the wheelchair, it's a bit awkward. I could probably get on my knees and sort of balance on them. But anyway, so we're not weighing myself. We're measuring my gut. So when I started, I was a... Now, how do I put this? When I started doing it, it may get a soil sample. So your lead and motor. Yeah, we have wet rain here as well. Yes, when I started this diet, the circumference around my gut was 58 inches. Yes, you fat bastard. I hear you all say. Now, today, after... I should have measured myself in the morning, really. But, so round my circumference today, it's 52 and a half. So I've lost 5.5 inches off my gut. Hello, Annie. Oh, we're getting them all on tonight. It's a family affair. I'm waiting for... Mum and Dad will probably phone me up on the iPad now. And I'll have to turn it round and say you're live on air. Yeah, so the diet is going really well. And I've not actually been hungry, which is quite good. So, yes, keep it up. It's going in the right direction. I'll be wafer thin by the end of this year. Yeah, when she does her videos, she goes, bye for now. I thought, that's my bloody catchphrase. It's not a catchphrase, is it? But it's just the way that I end my videos. Bye for now. What diet are you doing? I'm doing the stop eating so much bloody food diet. We've got the small plates out. And we're not putting as much on the plates. I did do, actually, at the start of the diet, I did the egg fast diet, and I did it for 7 days. And that's where the biggest weight loss happened. I lost 4 inches in 7 days. Since then, that was probably a fortnight ago, wasn't it? Just over a fortnight ago, I did the egg fast, so I lost 4 inches in 7 days. And since then, I've just been small portions, eating 3 times a day. Sometimes I've had a snack. Hang on a minute. Pardon me. Yeah. Was it yesterday I had a bit of a treat? Yesterday afternoon, I had a bag of pork scratchings. Oh dear, how decadent. Oh, flipping it. Harry's on as well. Hello, Harry. Christ, it is a family affair. Yeah, so it is working quite well. So the fortnight that I came on just on ordinary food. I've still lost 1.5 inches off of my gut, and it's staying off. It's not going back on. So I'm quite glad about that. So what I'll probably do is another week I'll do the egg fast again, which it's not fasting, is it? You just eat eggs and egg-based stuff. Well, I have to say you have helped me out a lot on the elf. Well, we like to help people. We've got a few jobs coming up on the old TD6, so keep your eye out for those. I've also got a few videos planned for this coming week on the TD-V8. One will be fixing it because it broke down the other day. It still works, but the battery's flat. The battery did go flat. It's probably not flat now. We'll find out in the morning because Tina's got to go out in it. So, but yeah, I've ordered a new battery, so that'll be a video for next week, whenever. That'll be a bit of a workout, that one, because the battery is just over 25 kilos. So we've got to get the bonnet in the proper upright position. Obviously, got to get the old battery out, and then I've got to try and get the new battery up off the floor, over into the engine bay and down into the hole, and then get it all bolted back up. That'll be easier said than done. If I could stand up on my own and walk about as normal, it would not be a bloody problem. But between Tina and myself, we will get the job done. I'm just checking my list to see what else I've got to talk about. Well, we've nearly covered everything and we've only been on for 40 minutes. Oh, bloody Peugeot. What do you want to buy a French car for? And James is on as well. It is family affair. I ship myself. Oh, I ship myself. Hello. Yeah, we'll get Tina on the tools. God, I don't know what that's all about, James. But there you go. He's probably saying, "Oh my God." But yeah, so yeah, we'll get Tina on the tools. If I'll probably stand up to the car because I can do that if we've got the. I know. Well, we've got Ollie, we've got Annie, we've got James, we've got Harry. I see Mr. Dibbles. He's family. Are you on, Tina? Oh, Tina's typing, so that's 6. So, yeah. Family is making up half of the audience so far. So, yes, we'll manage to do it somehow. And then we'll do a video on that. And then I've got another couple of videos planned on that car. Because we've had it for a year, so I'll welcome to Ben's chat line. Yeah, we've had it for just over a year now, so I'm going to do a bit of a video with a rundown of what it's cost us to run. I'll work out how many miles we've done and how much fuel we've put in it. Does Tina hit her head on the ceiling of the cellar? No, because she's a dwarf. She's a hobbit. You can get underneath the beams in the cellar, can't you? Oh. She has to duck underneath the beams, but she can stand upright between the beams. Oh. That's a turn up then, isn't it? I don't think I'll be going down there then, will I? Good luck and get 100,000 subs. It would be nice, James, to get 100,000 subscribers. But I don't know if there's 100,000 people that like listening to me waffling on. Well, that's another topic as well, because we got, just the other day, we hit 3,000 subscribers. which doesn't sound a lot, but when I first got back into doing YouTube after I come out of hospital, I had a YouTube account since 2009. I put a few videos on there, but didn't really sort of do anything with it, sort of thing. So, and before I went into hospital, I put a few videos out, just lawnmowers or the wood chipper. We had a ride-on mower that we was using for grading the ground because we was doing a grass job. That's right, James. We will try our best. I was driving the tractor around. Was you standing on the pallet? Or no, we put rocks in the pallet, didn't we? No, that was me and Ollie when Dad was doing the grass. Yeah. So I was towing a pallet round, and I was just putting out silly videos like that. And I had 14 subscribers at the time. So then I started putting out more content, and that was before YouTube changed everything, where you had to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time before you could get monetized. So I was monetized before, and I got up to like 70 euros. And I just got that 70 euros out into my account before they changed all the rules. So it took quite a while to build the old subscribers up to 1,000 and get monetized again. Not that we do it for the money, because we would. I wouldn't need to go on a diet, basically, because we wouldn't be eating anything if we was relying on YouTube money. But yeah, so we got to 1,000 subscribers. I got monetized again, and they just gradually going up. Then we hit 2,000, and it's like, and I did a giveaway at the 2,000 subscriber mark, and then it's just gone up from 2,000 to 3,000. It's gone quite quick. So we'll see how it goes. I had a nice job calibrating the suspension. I've not actually calibrated the suspension on the Range Rover. I've not had to do it yet anyway. I probably will be able to do it with a gap tool. But I've not had anything to do with that really. I mean, on the TD6, the air suspension packed up, but I knew exactly what I'd done. I'd gone off-roading around the back here, gone over a load of twigs and that, and it popped the height sensor rod off. But I didn't realise at the time. It was when I parked it up. I went to drop the suspension down so I could get out, and one corner was like up in the air. It's like dropping down like this. Oh, what a bloody hell's going on here? I pumped it back up and it back down and like that. And so I knew what it was. I got under the car, put the rod back on. Normally, when on in suspension inactive, you just turn the steering from lock to lock, and it resets it. But this fault wouldn't do it, so I had to just clear the code, and it's working fine after that. My most viewed video, pardon me, is where I was going to change the cam belt on a Toyota Hilux. What we was going to do, it had a bull bar on the front, and I was going to pull myself up, and Tina was going to strap me to the bull bar. I'd change the cam belt, because it's only a 20-minute job on a Toyota Hilux, 3-litre diesel, piece of cake. That was the plan. I pulled myself up to the thing, and I thought, this ain't going to work. So, in the end, Tina changed the cam belt on a Toyota Hilux. We was just messing about, because it's such a simple job. The bloke who owned it was a bit of a wally. I'll just leave it at that. You never know, he might be watching. But, yeah, so Tina did the job. I talked her through it. Yeah, we was in and out. The car was out on the drive. We had to keep diving into the shed because it was like a monsoon. Then Tina had to go shopping she had to go out and do something halfway through. So it took us the best part of a few hours, a 20-minute job. But no, she got it done. I put the video out, and it just sort of got a couple of hundred views in the first sort of week or so, and I thought, oh, that's quite good, because I said my videos were sort of like getting 50, 60 views at most at the time, and I thought, oh, a couple of hundred, I might have got up to like 500 in a month, and I was like, oh. And then it just kept going up and going up. That one video is now at 215,000 views. Because I checked the other day on my analytics, and that one video, since we published it back in 2017, it's got 215,000 views. That one video has gained me 700 subscribers, and it has also earned me €155. So if I could get all my other videos doing that as well, we'd be laughing. I could retire. No, that's not the reason we do this. I don't know, we just like having videoing, and like Mr. Sykes Gaming said that he's found our videos helpful on a lot of things on the old Range Rover. So it's just letting people know that you can do these jobs at home. If you don't need a whole vast array of mechanics tools. You can do a lot of stuff with just ordinary tools. And if I can talk Tina through doing a cam belt on a Toyota Hilux, most things are doable, aren't they?
What are you trying to say?
She did have to stand on a box, didn't you?
I used the double steps.
We had the double steps, and she had to stand on that because she couldn't reach. We're not having any goats. I knew somebody would have to mention goats. I think Tina would very much like goats. But no. We'll just fix the lawnmower. It's a sensible option. Bloody goats. They probably would be quite good at the moment, actually. But, oh no, don't you start, Annie. Luckily, she's in the toilet. She won't be able to see it. Cows. I think we would get cows. This won't sit well with the vegetarians amongst you, but we would get cows for the meat. But it's like Tina said, she might get too attached to a cow. It's like donkeys. She really wants donkeys. We can't just have one donkey, though, can you? But we wouldn't have donkeys for meat. Just 2 or 3. I think we'd be better off just asking the farmer for one over the road when he's finished. Say, yeah, we'll have one off you, mate, when it's done. But, the idea of animals is all very well. If the world went tits up and there was apocalypse and the second wave of the virus and this, that and the other and economic downfall, blah, 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 we probably would have animals. We'd have chickens for eggs and, donkeys, goats. Trouble is with donkeys, you got all the vet's bills, haven't you? Which is not ideal. They're all ganging up.
What?
They're all ganging up on me.
What do you mean? Why?
Donkeys, goats. Dwayne says get cows.
Yeah. Anyone mentioned chickens yet? Because that's the next one.
I mentioned chickens. You can't breed donkeys.
No, but there's plenty that need rescuing.
Oh.
They're not very practical though. So goats and cows and chickens.
Goats you get the milk from. The trouble is to get milk from a goat, the same with a cow. It has to give birth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you've got more than one, especially if it has twins, you've got 3 goats.
And?
Deer. We had a deer in the garden the other day, Tina said was it a big one?
Yeah.
Yeah, a fairly big one in the garden the other day.
Cows.
We don't want cows, we don't want goats, we don't want sheep.
We want goats and we want pigs and we want chickens.
Oh, God. All I can say, Ollie, is you better not get yourself moving to a bigger garden.
Yeah. Annie and I can compare notes.
Oh shit! What have we started here? Don't give in. I'm not going to give in.
He will. When I come home with a couple of piglets.
Trouble is, having animals is all very well and good. Nice one, Ollie.
What was that?
You put your foot down.
It won't make any difference.
Oh look, even Mick picks up on it now.
What's that?
Now the boat has gone, he can invest in goats. Yeah, but you can't keep the goats down at the harbour where he kept his boat. So, yeah, animals are all very well for able-bodied people.
I should make you a nice.
This is quite true, Ollie.
Parlour.
Yeah, you can't go cruising when you've got loads of animals at home.
We don't.
Yeah, but they're a tie, aren't they?
Well, what are they tying us to? The same as every other day.
Yeah, but if we just say, oh, we're going to go away for the weekend.
When do we ever say that?
Just in case.
When are we ever likely to say that?
Plans for the garage. Yes.
Change the subject.
Well, no, somebody's asked the question. Neville has come on and he's asked the question.
He's probably trying to help you out.
Oh dear, Ollie. It's. She says, Oliver, you can go cruising alone and I'll stay at home and look after everything. That or divorce. Oh. Anyway, we'll change the subject on animals. Plans for the garage. Yeah, Dad did say it's probably going to be best to knock it down and start again. We spoke to went up to the Mary. Tina spoke to him just for planning permission, and planning permission wasn't that expensive, but then we was going to have to pay a tax before we started anything. Planning permission would be about €500, but this tax was going to be about €2,000 on top. Could have gone more. So with regards to the garage, we're going to concrete the floor, shore up the pillars, and see if this end wall is strong or not. Because it might have moved, it might not have done. When I hit it, I didn't hit the wall with a digger. I pulled the rabbit hutches off the wall with the digger, and it looked like it moved, but it could have been all the cobwebs that were on it that came off. So we don't know. But anyway, we're going to get the floor concreted. It's going to cost a lot of money to knock it down and start again. It would have been ideal because I could have made it bigger and more suitable for having a lift in there for the car. But it's not to be because it's going to be quite expensive. And so, yeah, that's another job we've been doing actually today. I put a video out last week on the channel saying, starting digging the trench out to get the cables and the water pipe into the garage. So the other day I got in the garage, dug the trench out under the wall. So the trench on the outside now joins up the trench on the inside. And then today I finished digging the trench out and we've laid the pipe and we've laid cable. So that's done. We've filled the trench back in. We've just got to dig out the loose soil, and then Dad's coming over and he's going to bring his theodolite and we can get some levels in there because we've got 30 tonne of chalk sitting outside, so that can go in. Not all of it, hopefully, because we want some of it for the greenhouse. And yeah, we can get that all whackered down and start thinking about some concrete. And then once we've got the floor concrete and that, we're just going to have a look at the pillars. Because the pillars at this end of the room, there's one pillar at the other end of the building where it's sort of moved away a little bit and there's a gap. But it doesn't look like it's moved any more than it has. So, how deep were the foundations? I'd say about half a metre. When I went digging down, it's like stone foundations. Yeah, it went all the way to the bottom. Yes, they did. So yeah, about half a metre underground, I think. And it's not like a proper concrete foundation or anything. It's all stone. Luckily, I managed to dig down and then dig underneath into the garage and join it up with the trench on the inside. That's done, and I've filled it all back in. So we've got a water pipe and an electric cable in there now, a big fat electric cable, which we can at some point dig a trench all the way up to the house. And then, 600 millimeters is the minimum depth in the UK. Well, actually, this barn, obviously being in France, doesn't come under UK regs. There's a website called geoportal.fr.
There you go.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
And this geoportal website, you can bring up all the cadastral plans, aerial things. And then the other day, it was a few months ago actually, I was on there, and there was a news section which said, yeah, France isn't the UK. It said aerial photos from the 1950s. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I thought, well, I'll click on that and have a look, zoomed into our house. I don't know when this was built. I think it was in the 40s. Anyway, clicked on this aerial photos from the 50s. So, of course, all in black and white. A little bit blurry, but the barn was there then. So, and I must say, there was a hell of a lot more trees. We've got the big oak tree out in the field, but there was a line of trees down in line with that oak tree, which are no longer there. There was a lot of trees over the road where the farmers have got a house. That was all trees. There was trees all the way along the road. Sadly, they're all gone. I mean, they've just died off because when we bought this place, there was a few chestnut trees just down past the garage. So they were sort of clinging on. Half of them were dead, but there was a little bit of green on there. But the farmers just had them all out now. But our plan is, once we've got on top of some big projects like the garage and, we've got all these other jobs done and we've got the garden how we want it, the plan is to plant more trees. We want to get some more trees down the bottom there, some over there, so we can block the neighbours out. Not that we've fallen out with the neighbours or anything, they just don't really speak. And I'll get some more trees down over there as well in that end of the field. We've obviously got the woods over there, which has got quite a few trees in it. But the woods have been let go wild, so there was a lot of trees in there that were just too crowded. So I've been in there with a digger, cleared a hell of a lot of trees out, and it's just opened it up, and it's allowed the trees to sort of grow and sort of spread out. There's an oak tree out the back. It was just like growing straight up. So I've cleared everything around it, and now it's starting to sort of go like that, and it looks really nice now. Obviously, it's still only a young tree, but it will grow into a nice tree, and it's far enough away from the house that it shouldn't cause any problems. But yeah, I was quite surprised at how many trees there were in these photos. But yeah, the garage was there then, so I'm assuming that the garage was probably built at the same time as a house, which back in the 40s. And I don't know when French building regulations started, because going by most things, probably a couple of weeks ago. No, I think they've got a little bit better, but yeah. So that's what's happening with the garage. It's just everything takes time. I mean, we was going to go out there and do that the other day, but it was absolutely siling it down with rain. Yeah, see you in a bit. Tina's taking the dogs for a walk. Oh, that'll be a bit hot yet. Yeah, so we can only do what we can do. See, an able-bodied person, if they're out there and the rain starts, they can make a dash for it. Me, in the bloody wheelchair, I've got to try and wheel off-road in the wheelchair, go up to the gate, come down the road and get back in the house. By that time, I'm soaked. So if it's a chance of rain or if it's, spitting and that, we'll sort of wait indoors until it clears up. But now, best part of the day. Absolutely glorious sunshine out here. Wind has dropped. What more can you ask for? Anyway, I've got 18 minutes left. Yeah, no, that's going to happen. So I'm just looking at my list. What have we got? We've got the Range Rover, Hater mower, working ceiling in the cellar, garage floor, laying cable. I said laying cable the other day. I thought someone's going to pick up on it, aren't they? Laying cable. I've got a nice cuppa. Didn't you see her drop it off? I'm going to have to do it again, aren't I? You can get all your Ben's Garage bits and pieces over at bensgarage.org. Hang on. Over at bensgarage.org. Anyway. So I think we've covered all subjects. Oh no, we've got some other things to talk about. I've started some more YouTube channels. Hang on, let me go back to my other camera. There we go. What happened to the mic thingy? What mic thingy? What mic thingy? You got me puzzled now. This mic thingy. Oh yeah. I could screw it back on. I don't really need it on though. Oh, well, yeah. I have to sit here and hold it. Oh, yeah. Anyway. So, as I was saying, I've started up another couple of YouTube channels. Only because I've got too much time on my hands. Ben's Garage is for Range Rovers, mechanicking, all that kind of stuff. The Mad Dog Farm is our everyday stuff, round and about, gardening, tractoring, cutting grass, all that kind of thing. I've got another one called Ben's Wheels, which is all to do with being in the wheelchair, paraplegic progress and all that kind of thing. I've only put old videos on that were on the on Ben's Garage, and I've just put them onto there. And then as I start going, I'll be putting more on. But then I've got another one called Ben's Reviews, where I review all our gadgets and stuff. I did a review on my old bass amp a long time ago, and I checked it the other day, and it's got like 6,000 views, and I thought, oh, that's doing all right for me, And the other review that I did on there, it's got 10 views. So I started doing some more reviews. So that's on the Ben's Reviews. So I've got Ben's Wheels, Ben's Reviews, Ben's Garage, and the Mad Dog Farm. The reason I've split them is because they're a certain niche. It's like the reason that I separated it from the Mad Dog, the Mad Dog Farm stuff from Ben's Garage, because the Range Rover videos do really well. They get, the last one I did, it's over 3,000 views. Should you buy a used Range Rover? It's over 3,000 views now. So if I get a run of Range Rover videos that are around 4,000 or 5,000 views, YouTube really pushed your channel, and I've noticed it in the analytics. The subscriber count goes up, all the views go up, and then I put out a video on making a pizza. It gets like 100 views, and YouTube see it as like a massive drop. So they sort of stop pushing your videos. So because it's up and down, the channel doesn't grow. Well, I'm not that bothered about it growing, but it is nice to have more subscribers. You will obviously earn more money if you get more people watching, but as I've said before, this isn't the reason we do it. You know, I enjoy filming. I quite enjoy editing as well, to be honest. And I don't edit my videos, so it's like a cinematic experience. But yeah, so I've put all the cooking stuff and just general day-to-day stuff out and about in the garden. That's on the Mad Dog farm, so it keeps that away from the garage side of things. So Ben's garage is running with all the mechanicking stuff. Mad Dog farm is all stuff around about the house, little projects we're doing like the ramp and I'll say the cellar, but I've not been down the cellar. You know, bits and pieces outside, what we're growing, what we're cooking. That's on the Mad Dog farm. So then Ben's reviews is going to be all reviewing stuff like the new camera. Oh, yes. That's slow on the uptake. There's only 18 subscribers on that one. And so then Ben's Wheels, that's got even less subscribers, but it's getting a few views. Yeah, YouTube is paying very well. Last month I had €65. Well, I didn't get it because you have to earn, is it €70 before they send you the money? So I've got €65 sitting in my Google AdSense account. So I'll have to wait for this month's money to go in there, which will be like another month. But then I'll get 2 months in one go. I think last payout was about €120. So it's not gonna keep us in food, that's for sure. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, if I ever did any music stuff, I'd put that on the Mad Dog Farm channel because it's not really reviewing it. I did a review on the drum kit. I've did a review on the bass amp. They're both live. I did a review on this new camera. I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. I've also done 2 reviews on guitars. I've got my Bravewood P bass and I've got my acoustic bass over there, but I've not released those yet. I've got a Korg. No, it's not a Korg. It's a Roland XP50 that Dad gave me because it doesn't work. Ben's Wheels. Ben's Reviews is the other one. Yeah, I've got that Roland keyboard, but it doesn't work. It doesn't put any audio out. So what I'm probably going to do, I have a friend back in the UK who is a bit of a master wizard at electronics, and I've got in touch with him the other day and said, if I sent you the soundboard, apparently it's a common fault on this particular keyboard that the capacitors all go to shit. So I've got to take the back off, send him a picture, and see if he can do anything with it, because he said that he might not be able to test it on the bench. Some things he can test on the bench, some things he can't. The ones that he can't, he might have to have the whole unit, which might not happen, because I ain't going to post that keyboard all the way back to the UK. If I can take the soundboard out and he can do something with that. So when I've got that all up and running, if I can get it up and running, I'll do a review on that. I've got another keyboard over there. So there's all sorts of things I can do reviews on. It's just because I probably have got too much time on my hands. And when it's absolutely peeing it down with rain, I've got some jobs to do in the kitchen. I've got to build my island and stuff like that. But all the material for that is buried in the barn next door, and all the greenhouse is on top of it. And there's nowhere to put the greenhouse because the barn is full up. So once we get the garage done, there's a job to do. Oh, look at the timer. Oh, caught me out that time, didn't it? Yeah, we've got to get the garage done to get this done so that we can then move on to that, and then we move on to that. Anyway, so when we have rainy days and stuff, I just mess about, tinker around. I'm working on a review at the minute. Hang on. That is a bass preamp DI box pedal amp modeler or something. Of course, I'm going to do a review on that, but I'm recording some sound clips to go with it. Yeah. Thank you. Oh dear. Anyway, I knew it was a waste of time setting the timer up. But there you go. So yeah, I've got the review channel, and then we've got the other channel, which is wheelchair stuff. Who knows? One day I might not be in the wheelchair. We'll keep working at it. Losing some weight will be a big start. So, you know, it's easier to get standing up. Yeah. So, back to the new camera. I've added the battery grip on it. That's not part of the camera. But it's quite handy because you can turn it on its side and you've got a shutter button there. Let me just take some pictures. Oh, we like a bit of that, don't we? Anyway, this is the new camera. It's not an up-to-date model. This camera is probably 5-6 years old. But it's a full frame sensor. If you're not into cameras, you probably won't know what all this full frame sensor business is, crop sensors, all that kind of thing. My other camera, the Olympus, which I might have shown you before, is 4/3. The sensor is about that big in it. And the crop factor on the 4/3 is whatever lens you put on, you double the focal length. So I've got a 14 to 54 mil, so that's 28 to 108 mil. With the full frame sensor, this is just like your old 35 mil. So you put this is a 28 to 70 mil zoom lens, which comes with the camera. It's a kit lens. That is 28 to 70. There's no crop factor. Full frame sensor, so you get a nice bit of bokeh, whatever they call it. Why did I get this one? It's 6 years old. It's old technology. But it's not the first full frame sensor that Sony did. This is the Sony A7 Mark II. Now, when they came out, it was the A7. They had the A7S and the A7R. I think the R was for pictures and the S was for video, but the A7 was sort of like middle ground. Anyway, they then brought out the A7 Mark II and the A7S, the A7S2 and the A7R2. That's right. I'm getting confused now. This does video, whereas my old Olympus doesn't do video. Now, I didn't want one of these cameras predominantly for video making because I've got my other camera for that over here. Can you see that? That's my camera for videos. Digital SLR for photos, video camera for videos. I don't know why the world has gone crazy for digital SLRs for filmmaking, because they're so unpractical. They got crappy inbuilt audio, so you've got to put an external microphone on it, and even that isn't great because it's just like little jack plugs. On the video camera, it's got pro audio with XLRs, 2 channels. The video camera's got built-in ND filters. This hasn't got any. The video camera's got 2 SD card slots. This has only got 1, but saying that the A7 Mark III has 2 slots. This records for half an hour and switches off. The video camera's unlimited. So I don't know why people want these cameras. They're ergonomically designed to hold up to your eye for taking photos, whereas a video camera is for taking videos. Anyway, I won't go into that too much because it's just the way the world is, and I've had arguments with people online before when they say, oh, the best thing you can have is a Canon 5D Mark IV. It's fantastic. You buy this lens and you buy that lens. It's like, well, I've got a video camera. Those focal lengths are all in that lens. And it's got ND filters built in. Anyway, that's enough of that. So I wanted this for taking photos. It's 24 megapixels, shoots in RAW. The Olympus shoots in RAW, but it's only 10 megapixels. The Olympus is very slow at focusing, and it's not very good in low light. This A7 Mark II, apparently, according to experts on YouTube, who are probably not experts at all, say that the A7 Mark II is quite noisy in low light. But the sort of pictures I'll be taking in low light will be long shutter speed, long shutter releases for stars and all that kind of thing. That's why I got it, really, because I tried doing some astrophotography with the Olympus, and it was like somebody had put something over the lens. It was so noisy, and it didn't matter where I'd put the ISO. So we got this. It was cheap. I won't tell you how much, but cheap. Brand new. I've put the other camera up for sale because it is a fantastic camera, that Olympus. And it's got some really nice glass on the lenses. I've got 3 pro level lenses on the Olympus. The reason I went for Sony is because my video camera's a Sony. This camera we're shooting on Sony, it's the action cam. I've got another Sony action cam. This one has got video. It's got the same codec as the video camera. It only shoots in 1080, whereas the camera does 4K, 1080, you name it, it does it. But as I say, I don't want this for videoing, but it's got the capability that if I'm out and about and I need to shoot something, like use it as a B cam or whatever, I can just hit the record button and it shoots in the same codec. So when it comes to matching it up with footage from the main camera, it's a doddle. And I did it the other day. I've got the picture profile set in here almost the same, because the video camera shoots in. You've got S-Log2, S-Log3, which is like a log profile, which is like it's like shooting in RAW. It's not quite like RAW, but it's a really flat picture. It captures a higher dynamic range, basically. The video camera's also got what they call HLG, which is hybrid log gamma, which is almost usable straight out of the camera, and it's pretty much what your eye would see. It's good for HDR tellies and stuff like that. So I always shoot in HLG in the big camera, and obviously this one only goes up to S-Log2. There's only 7 picture profiles on this one, but I've had a play around with it, and I've got the picture looking almost the same as the video camera, but it's not the hybrid log gamma. I might have lost a lot of you on this, but so that's the reason we went for a Sony. The reason I went for an old one but new is because the A7 Mark III is about £2,500. We wasn't paying that, so I don't need any more than that. It's 24 megapixels. I don't blow my pictures up massive. It's got quick enough autofocus for me. Hey, it's Ludo. Come here, mate. Oh, your feet are wet. Look at the telly. Look up there. Look up there. Say hello. Ludo. Oh. Oh, oh, oh. No, you're not playing. Oh. I'll see you then. Come on in. No, listen to what I'm doing. Listen, Ludo. Good boy. Hey, good boy. Where have you been? Your feet are all wet. Thank you very much. Now I'm soaked. He didn't say we'd want a goat because if we got goats, he would spend the day chasing them. I'm not sure what Kira would make of goats, whether she'd try kill it or not, because she does try. She's a bit of a killer, that dog. She's a very good mouser, actually. Now, I was quite surprised. When I moved to France, I brought my old German Shepherd out with me. Lovely dog he was. Big old clumsy thing. When we was over at, I was living at Mum and Dad's, we was pulling tree stumps out with the tractor. And we'd roll a tree stump out and there'd be mice running around. And I'd never seen a dog move so quick. I mean, he was sort of a big lolloping dog. And bang, he was straight in there, catching the mice. And Kira's the same. You know, if we're doing anything out there, Ludo couldn't give a monkeys. He sort of looks up, you know, all right, whatever. Yeah, Parker. Good old boy. But, yeah, I've got Parker on one of my old videos. It's called Digging Dogs, I think. I had somebody moaning at me because I've got there was Jock and Parker. Jock was my sister's old dog that we brought out to France, and Mum and Dad took him on. And it border collie, and he used to get in there and dig out at the roots. So I was out there with a camera one day, and Parker and Jock was out there, and they was digging. Oh, come on, dig. Now, the dogs would have dug at the stumps anyway, because they're always trying to get the mice and stuff. So, of course, there's us. Come on, Parker, dig. So, somebody commented, didn't they? Having a moan about us getting the dogs to work. So, oh, my God. Get a life. Gotta love goats. Yeah, the one downside to Parker, and any sort of hairy dog, is that, they molt, don't they? I used to brush Parker out on the grass, and when I'd finished, it looked like there was another dog lying out there. Yeah. Kira's the same. I mean, we think that she's got a bit of German Shepherd in her. And Tina's forever brushing her, getting big handfuls of fur, and oh dear, gets everywhere. Ludo, being short-haired, he does molt, but it's nothing. You can see it blows through the house like tumbleweed. I'm not saying that Tina doesn't do her housework or anything, but it all gathers up. And you open one of the back doors or something, and all this hair just blows through the house, and we have to quickly catch it with a Hoover. Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. I didn't know there was so many emojis of animals. Bloody hell. Oh, God. No, we don't want to go. Ludo. Come here, mate. Look, you're adoring publica here. Come here. Who's that on there? Look, that's you. On there. Look up here. Who's that up there? You good boy. Are you going to say something to your waiting crowd? Look, there's 10 of them online at the minute. Say something to them. I won't get you speaking too much because it makes the microphone go red. All right, then. See ya. He's had enough. But yes, no, we don't want goats. We've had goats before. Pigs. Well, wouldn't mind having pigs. Trouble. Talking of pigs, the other day, I was just sat in the other room, and there's this bloke coming down the road, and he started pointing across the field over towards the garage. Oh, looking at him, I thought, I don't recognise you, because we're down a back road. You know, we're out in the sticks. People that go past the house, we know who they are, basically. What about getting a petting zoo? I think we might have been ignoring you on purpose. Anyway, this bloke pointing across the field towards the garage, and I don't know who you bloody are, mate. I'll keep an eye on you. He started running up the road. Luckily, the back door was open. I could see up the road, and he ran across into our garden. And I'm like, you cheeky sod. So anyway, I said to Tina, wait, there's someone just running into our garden. Pardon me. Pardon me. And so Tina got her boots on, went striding over there, and he obviously heard, that's right, because the dogs were barking, so he come up to the fence, and it was the farmer who normally drives up and down in the tractor. I didn't recognise him. Tina's obviously seen him before, but they was chatting away. And she came back to the house. She said, oh, it's one of their pigs has escaped, and he's got it trapped in the other side of the garage, because just in front of the garage is open, but round past it is all fenced in. He said he's just waiting for someone to help him come and catch it. And I thought, all right, fair enough. Anyway, old matey turned up with his front loader thing with a big box on the front of it, and had some big boards, and they was trying to guide it into the box sort of thing. Anyway, it managed to get past them, and it legged it up the road. So we didn't think any more of it. Anyway, later on, the old boy, we think is the bloke's dad, and I think he's the father of the other farmers as well. Tina was talking to him up there because he was coming back to check the fence because the pig ran into our fence, and you know, he said, "I'll come and fix your fence," and she said, "No, don't worry about it. We'll sort that out." You know, and it turned out that the pig had got in with the cows, and the cows trampled it to death. It's like, bloody hell! Don't mess with cows. Jesus. So they would have had bacon that night, I'm assuming. It wasn't very big. I'll say not very big. It was bigger than the dog. But the pigs that we had were huge. Well, I think they were huge. Trouble is, we were little at the time. But I think they were quite big because we had a job to get all the meat in the freezer afterwards. But anyway, it legged it up the road and got in with the cows, and the cows trampled it, killed it. So it's like, oh, you bugger. So I would like to have pigs, home-reared pigs, because we've done it before, and it's the best pork you'll ever eat, really. But I'm just worried about stuff getting out and Tina having to deal with it on her own. That's what stops me going for animals, I think. If there's two of you, it's not so bad, is it? But if she's left on her own to deal with escapees... Oh, pissing goats. Trevor and Fred, they were called, Ollie. Named after our uncles. I actually went somewhere once and they had pig racing. Can't remember where that was now. Where was that? Can't remember. Obviously, they weren't real jockeys on the pigs. They were strapped on. But yeah, all animals, goats, sheep. They're escape artists as well. But I wouldn't have sheep because you don't get a lot of meat on a sheep, really, in comparison to a pig. And chickens. She's shouting out in the background now. Bloody chickens. Oh, she's putting it all on me now. The amount of eggs that you go through. It wasn't that long ago, Ollie. Vaguely remember. I know you've had a few sleeps since then. Yeah, chickens are a pain in the neck as well. They leave little golf balls everywhere, don't they? Not conducive to a nice lawn, is it? But the eggs are nice. And it's like Tina did shout out, well, the way you get through eggs, I do eat a lot of eggs. I have scrambled eggs for breakfast. Oh, yeah, the peppers. If you've been watching on the old Mad Dog Farm page, we got all the chilies in the auto pots. All the chilies. Who are you calling the knob? I'll come and let your tyres down. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. We didn't grow as many this year because we've still got absolutely loads in the freezer from our last house. We had the polytunnel and the greenhouse were full, and we had absolutely loads. Why are you calling her a knob on here? Surely she's sat next to you. Can't you just turn your head and say, "Oh, are you too chicken to say it to her face?" Well, I better not incite all this domestic doodah. I don't want to be getting the blame for anything. Anyway, yes, the peppers. So we've got, tending your animals outside. Are you putting the guinea pigs to bed? Anyway, yes, the peppers. We had about 11 plants growing in the other room under the grow light. So we've only got 6 auto pots on the auto pot system. When we get back into growing them big time, we can obviously extend the auto pot system, add more pots, put a bigger reservoir on it if we have to. So we picked out 6 into the auto pot. Those are the ones that we can feed in the, you fill the reservoir up with water and we can actually put liquid feed in those. So the last time we used those auto pots, the peppers were growing about 5 foot high. Absolutely unbelievable. And they were like really loused out in peppers. This year we've got 6 in the auto pots and 5 in just ordinary big round pots with a tray underneath, so we water from the bottom. We can still feed the ones in the ordinary pots. We just have to mix it up and then put it in the bottom of the tray. But yeah, we're looking for some hot peppers this year. We've got Carolina Reapers, Trinidad Scorpions, Moragas. I don't know what. Yeah, I'm sorry to be interrupting your little chat over here. I'll have to set up a little chat room for you. No, I won't give them ideas. Just as well, it's not one of these Zoom things where everybody's in because, oh dear, I don't think I'll be able to cope with that. I wonder if I can do it on, because I use OBS. Anyway, back to the peppers. Yeah, Carolina Reaper, Trinidad Scorpion, Moraga. Are they Moraga Scorpions? Moraga Scorpions. Chocolate Butt. Yeah, so we've got one of each in the auto pots, and then we've Daryl's here now. Oh, it's all gone a bit bland. So yeah, we're looking forward to a bumper harvest crop on the old chilies. And then I'll probably make some sauces and bits and pieces with them this year. Now, the last time I've got the website for the chilies, the Mad Dog Chili Farm website, which you can, if you go onto bensgarage.org, there's a link that goes to that. We did have some stuff up there for sale. Obviously, towards the end of the year, I'll be making some stuff and put it up for sale. We don't make any money out of it, but if I can make enough money to pay for the bottles or the jars and a little bit towards the growing of it, God, Metro. It was my Metro first. Oh no, because you came out to France in a Metro, didn't you? Anyway, yeah. So towards the end of the year, I might have some products up for sale. We won't be making any money out of it. As I said, we price it just so that we're not losing money, basically. So we'll see what we can do. We'll come up with some sauces and some. The onion relish was a good one. I think Dwayne. Yeah, Dancing Dragon hot sauce was a nice one. Quite a few people enjoyed that. Gary enjoyed that. I don't know if Gary's on tonight. I've not seen him comment. Mr. Dibbles, aka Dwayne, he likes the onion relish. But I made a fermented hot sauce as well, and it's still going strong. It's in the fridge because fucking goats. No, we eat goat's cheese that we buy from the supermarket.
What, make our own?
No, we're not making our own bloody goat's cheese.
Why not?
I don't know if you can get the stuff over here.
I'm sure you can.
No, you can't. What's it called?
Oh, I did look it up when you mentioned it before. I can't remember now.
Dad will tell you what it is. That's it. Chili onion relish. So I'm assuming that at some point I'll have to make Mr. Dibbles a batch of chili onion relish.
We've still got a bag of those Tabascos to make another.
Yeah, I've still got some Tabasco peppers frozen in the fridge. So I could make some fermented hot sauce out of that. Yeah, all good stuff. But the trouble is, I only had big bottles. And when it's this fermented sauce, you don't want to be using big bottles because the stuff is potent. It's like rocket fuel. Which is why the Tabasco bottles are about that big. And eh? What, the little bottles?
Yeah, we bought some, didn't we?
Oh. Apparently we got some little bottles.
You got that dancing dragon out in the other day?
No, even smaller than that. Anyway, we can look into that. So yeah, I could probably do some more fermented hot sauce. That is, I don't know what happens when you ferment it, but oh dear, flipping heck. That's the hottest thing we've got in the house, I think. Oh God, Daryl Bland. Oh. Now then, boyo. I'm surprised you know how to get on here, Daryl. Are you seeing straight tonight? Or are you seeing round corners? Arse. Yes. I think Daryl Bland is about the only person I know who has moved back home so many times. He must like his mum's cooking. So, Daryl, are you working at the moment? Or are you still glued to that bloody computer? Now, Daryl, for all of you other people on here that don't know Daryl, is We came out to France with Daryl. I brought the Range Rover out for my mum and dad, but we bought them a new car. I had a motorbike trailer, and I bought a motorbike. Ollie had a couple of motorbikes, and we brought Daryl out. So we got Oliver's motorbike going. He had a CR250. We serviced it all up. Off he went. Daryl used my bike, which was a DT125, but somebody had bolted in a Honda CB125 twin engine into it. No kickstart, no electric start. You had to bump it. Luckily, it bumped really easy. Anyway, Daryl was using my bike. Ollie was on his own. We could hear him going round and round. And it all went quiet. It's like, oh, what's going on here then? Anyway, they come back up to the house, up the top. Ollie gets off his bike, having a job to stand up. He's absolutely pissing himself. Daryl gets up there, gets off my bike, stands there like this, and he is absolutely soaked to the bone. It's like, what the bloody hell have you been up to? Of course, they'd only gone round the bottom of the pond. Ollie had obviously got round it. I don't know what Daryl did, but he ended up in the pond. Luckily, my bike didn't go in after him. I don't know how he managed it, but there you go. Daryl, have you still got a motorbike? I don't know if he has or not. I know his brother's got one. I think Daryl and motorbikes don't really go together. He might answer me in a minute, or he's gone in disgust. Also, Daryl, was it you that crashed round near the garage at Toynton? I know there was you and that other lad both had the same bike, I think, or very similar. I can't remember his name. Yeah, I thought it was you. And also, Daryl, while we're on the subject of falling off of motorbikes, weren't you on the back of Ollie's motorbike when that brake drum came off that lorry? Ollie ducked and it hit you and you fell off. Yeah, CBR 400, I remember now. You both had matching bikes. We thought you were gays. So, Daryl, I've got a bit of advice for you. I don't think you mix very well with two wheels. Stick to 4. I did actually, when Ollie told me about it, when he said, oh, something fell off a lorry, and Ollie ducked, and next thing you know, he knew that Daryl was in the ditch. And I found it amusing for some reason. It's not a nice thing to be finding amusing, but it could only happen to Daryl, basically. So yeah, stick to. Oh well, you had the 3-wheeler, didn't you? So you stick to 3 or 4 wheels. Is my bit of advice for you. Bosh in the head. Yes. Having said that, I've actually crashed a motorbike on more than one occasion. There is an answer to that one, Ollie, but I won't say it because I don't want to hurt Daryl's feelings. There you go. Yeah, I crashed. In fact, no, I've crashed the TRX 850. I crashed the ZX7R. And I crashed the CBR 1000RR. Well, no, I've crashed. Fizzy, yeah, I crashed the Fizzy. So that's the Fizzy. I've came off the TRX twice. I had one big crash on the ZX7, and then I had a really big, well, that one where I bust all my collarbone up on the Fireblade. But yeah, so my record's not that great either, is it? But I've been riding longer, and I used to ride every single day, no matter the weather. That's my excuse, anyway. Yeah, there you go. So we're coming up to the second hour. So we've got 15 minutes. I'm going to cut it off at this next 15 minutes because that means I would have been on for 2 hours and something. And it's just too long, isn't it, really? It's only 9:45. It's still daylight outside. Yeah, so... Yeah, you go and feed your goats, Mick. We're still not getting any.
Yes, we are.
I've decided.
I've decided we are.
Tina says she's decided that we are having goats. But yeah, we can't get them at the minute because of the worldwide pandemic. Oh, God. I'm getting all the back chat now. Back bloody goats. I'll never hear the end of it. Hey? Oh. Anyway, we're not having goats. Yeah, I will try and get some more cooking on. I'm going to release one next week where I made some homemade coleslaw. So give that one a watch and a like and a try. I've not actually had it for a long time. I went off it a little bit because I was having it sort of all the time. Anyway, yes, we'll see you next time, Mick. And I'll enjoy seeing your comments on our videos. Yeah, he's fed up with talking about goats. Bloody goats. No, well, he wasn't banned on this one. You just turned up late. Yeah, see you next time, Mick. There's seven of you on at the minute, which I think is half my family. I don't suppose the boys are still on, Harry and James. I think they're off doing whatever. But, oh, dearie me. Look, you've even got Daryl saying bye to Mick now. Daryl's only just shown up. Where have you been, Daryl? This live stream's been on for nearly 2 hours. And Dwayne, he's saying bye as well. Oh, it's getting very familiar, isn't it? Mick's not on. He had to go. Yeah. Well, I'm only here for another 13 minutes. And then I'm going to switch off because then I would have been on for 2 hours and 3 minutes. And I can't keep talking. I've been through my list. Look, I've got a list of things to talk about. See, my pen went funny at the top. And I've been through that list a couple of times. And I don't suppose you want to hear anymore. So, yeah. Flipping heck. I think he's gone. Dearie me. I don't know. Well. Getting your gaming chair to come online. What, so you can hear... Has it got speakers in the back of it? So you can hear me in stereo. I've got a gaming chair somewhere. I think I used it once, didn't I?
You didn't even use it, you just tried it
Yeah, I tried it out. Yeah. Yeah, well, he's got 11 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm not doing another hour. Bloody hell. You'll have to set one up, Ollie. Start doing it. Start doing your own live stream. It's good to see you, Daryl. Good to see you still functioning. But yes. So yeah, I've run out of things to say now. I could just sit here and look pretty, couldn't I? What? I don't know what was funny about that. Oh, cheek. Bloody cheek of it. I'll take a picture of the telly. She's not getting goats. I don't know why you people are so fixated on goats. I put a video out about cutting the grass, and all I get is, I don't know why you don't get goats. And that's not just from Mick. It's from quite a few different people. No. We'd have to... Don't start with donkeys. Jesus, Daryl. I've nearly got talked out of that one. We pulled all the fences out. It was all nicely fenced in. We've taken them all out, so we can't have animals because they'll be roaming around. They'll eat all the vegetables, and they'll escape. And Tina will be running around the countryside trying to get them back in. And I'm just thinking of Tina. You see, that's not very nice. I don't know if you picked up on that. Oh, language from her is filthy. But yes, that's all I'm thinking of. Because I don't mind livestock. As long as I don't have to do anything with them. Right, so we've pulled all the fences out now. We've got the fence all the way around the outside, obviously. But you don't want them to have a full run of 5 acres. You want to pen it off so that they'll eat a bit and then you can move them on to the next bit. And then that bit that they've just been on will then grow. Rotating. That's the word I'm trying to get to. Rotating the pasture. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, yes. Mushrooms aren't doing much in the woods, by the way. We have got mushrooms growing in the bucket in the other room. Oh. I did look into a chicken thing that you could move about. Because you don't want them just sat on the same spot, because once they've got through all the grass, it'll just turn to mud and it'll be bloody horrible. So if you used to have chickens, you want to be able to move them. An automatic lawnmower for 5 acres. Christ. You need to get one that's got lots of docking stations that are solar powered, so that it can, if it runs out of power the other side of the field, it can dock over there, charge itself up, and then do a bit more. 2 of them, yeah. No, I quite like getting on the old tractor and having a trundle round, cutting the grass, thinking to myself, just pottering about, chugging along. I think the last time I cut around the grass, I was driving around, because obviously we've got the meadow grass with all the wildflowers and they're all blowing in the wind, and it's lovely. And then we've got the track that goes all the way around the outside. That was all nice and cut. Just driving around there thinking, oh yeah, it's bloody marvellous. Best thing we ever did move here. I wouldn't be able to do that if we got goats, would I? There you go. But yeah, I'm going to try and get that grass cut hopefully this week. If I can get the flower mower fixed and get that hooked up to the tractor, I'm going to try cutting this long grass in the field because the flowers have pretty much all gone now. So if we cut it all down to the floor, and then we'll get a second growth. Obviously, if we had animals, we'd have to bale it up or something to feed them through the winter. But we haven't got animals, so we don't have to bother with any of that. And that's the way it's going to stay. Tina. See, if you want some land to plant rye and barley, you can't have goats because goats will get into it and decimate the crop. It's straightforward, really. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, 5 and a bit minutes. I'll have to keep waffling on for then. I'll go up to my allotted time. And then I shall come off. That's it, Daryl. They'll get in there and take the lot out. They'll get into the vegetables and have the whole lot. So it'll be all that season's worth of growing down the toilet. So we don't need animals that are going to do that. It's bad enough keeping the dogs off the vegetable garden, let alone bloody goats. Oh dear. Anyway, the next live stream, I think I'm going to ban the use of the word goats. So we can talk about something else. Yeah, their goats might be well behaved, but if we was to get any, they wouldn't be well behaved. It's as simple as that. There's not much more to say about that, really. That's it. And what good is a bloody goat? Goat's milk. Goat's milk, cheese. Goats are not gorgeous. They're not. They're not. No, they walk around and their tails stick up, showing all their arsehole off, and it's horrible. She is a troublemaker. Yes. I think I should ban her from the live stream, to be honest. But I only get it in the neck when I come off, won't I? Oh dear. So yes, goats. No, we're not. We're going to change the subject now. We're going to talk about something different because we've got just nearly 3 minutes, and then I'm going to be off ski. Mehmet, where is Mehmet? I'm waiting for Daryl's reply. I've lost the thread here. I don't know what's going on. Chickens. I don't mind. Oh, no. Probably dead. What, from eating his own food? I must say his kebabs were quite nice. And his doner pizzas were quite nice as well. Even with all that chili sauce on. Because obviously I wasn't a chili eater at the time. But it was quite spicy. Yeah, they were quite nice. And obviously, because he used to come in the garage, so that we used to look after his car and that. And so we used to go in there. He used to give me extra large portions. Very nice. Turkey. He's gone back to Turkey, has he? Update on the Flower. The engine is bolted on. I'm waiting for a bolt to arrive in the post because the thread on the crankshaft is a different thread to the old engine. The clutch fits on the shaft absolutely perfect, but I haven't got a bolt, and it's a 3/8-24 UNF. Up the road, we can't get anything like that. You've got M6, M8, M10, and that's about it. So I've had to order one online. So hopefully that will be here this week, so I can get that bolted on, get the belts on, get the engine lined up so the belts run true, and then I can weld up. I've got to weld a bar across the back, get all that sorted out. I'm going to move the wheels so that they're tucked in behind it, because at the minute they stick out of the sides. Well, if they're behind it, they're not going to run over the grass that you can't cut. So I'm going to move the wheels behind, and then I've just got to do some welding on the drawbar so that we can attach it to the tractor. The tractor's got a thing on it with a pin that drops down, so I can just weld up something, and we'll get it hooked up to the tractor, because the tractor's obviously a bit more manoeuvrable than the Range Rover. So that's the plan. Hopefully this week, fingers crossed, because I really need to get out and cut that grass. And then we'll get a second cut out of it later on in the year. And then over the winter, it doesn't really do much. So that's the flower mower. And then we got the other mower working the other day, the hater. 15 seconds. Oh, no, time's up. Well, there you go. Oh, don't you start, Daryl. Fucking hell. Peacocks? What can you do with a bloody peacock? Jesus. Do peacocks lay eggs? Well, I assume they do, but are they any good? They ain't going to make much of a scrambled egg or an omelette, are they? They'll only be little things. Anyway, yes, time is up. So I'm going to off ski and we're not talking about goats, Tina. Yeah, so we don't want peacocks. What's them other things? No. You get the eggs from them. Funny coloured eggs. Quail? Or is it guinea fowl? Guinea fowl? Quails? Oh, anyway, yes, we're going to get off. It's been most enjoyable chatting to you all this evening. I've covered some... put my teeth back in. I've covered some subjects on my list over what's been happening over the last 4 weeks. So now I'm going to sign off and probably come back in another 4 weeks' time. So in a fortnight, Ollie, don't sit in front of your telly waiting for me to come on, because I'll leave it 4 weeks again. And then we have more to talk about. And hopefully people will have forgotten about goats. And we can talk about something else. We won't have goats by then, Tina. No, we won't. So, yes, thank you all for coming and joining in on the live chat. It has been most enjoyable for a Sunday evening. So, yes, we'll come back in 4 weeks. And in the meantime, I'll get some more videos out. So, do feel free to go and check those out. Click the old thumbs up. Subscribe to my channels, Daryl. Come on, pull your finger out. There's 4 of them now to choose from. Ben's Garage, The Mad Dog Farm, Ben's Wheels and Ben's Reviews. Get subscribing to all of them. Anyway, I'm going to get off. So thank you all for coming, and we'll catch you in 4 weeks' time. Bye for now. End stream, come on, end.